I'm going to ask each one of you to give us your summary, 1 minute, of what you want us to remember about this hearing. And we'll begin with you, Dr. Calzada.
I would say that when you look at new investments, especially when there are technologies that are not ready now, you should have the feet in the earth and look at past experience. And of course, there is a place for new technology, innovative technology. This is wonderful, but there is an institutional place for those. This venture capital, this is the stock market, and I think that those technologies have to be improved there. Because forecasts, there have been many forecasts in history. For example, I have here a forecast that President Carter was making in 1978, saying that by year 2000, 20% was going to be solar. And forecasts, there are many. The problem, forecasts, when the private citizen does a forecast and invest and make a bet, nothing happens because it's his money. But when a politician does this, the problem might be that it puts people's money there, and I would say keep feet in the earth and look at past experience, not only in Spain but in other countries too, to see what has happened in reality.
Thank you, Dr. Calzada. Just to say to you, Dr. Calzada, that yes, Jimmy Carter did say that, and he was putting the policies in place to do that. He did not predict that he was going to lose to Ronald Reagan in 1980, however, and he did not predict that Ronald Reagan would name a dentist, James Edwards, as the Secretary of Energy in February of 1981, and that Dr. quote dentist Dr. Edwards would then pledge to abolish the Department of Energy by May of 1981, which was his cause. That was his goal, to abolish the Department of Energy, because he did not want any national planning for energy policies. And while there was a beautiful analogy there between Dr. Dentist James Edwards and the drilling that he had perfected in that profession, and kind of the affinity that he had for an equivalent technology in oil and gas that also had drilling, it did exclude, unfortunately, wind and solar and geothermal and biomass from his vision. And unfortunately, the Reagan administration lasted 8 years, also something Jimmy Carter did not predict. And unfortunately, the next Bush administration and the Republican control of the House and Senate for 12 years did not accommodate that technology either. And so if you look backwards, you can learn from history, but you have to understand that sometimes history does not repeat itself. And here, it is not going to repeat itself, okay? We're actually on day one at 8 a.m. of the Obama administration. It's going to last at least 4 years. The states now have, in the absence of federal action, put their own renewable electricity standards on the books. And last year, there was 9,000 new megawatts of wind and solar installed in the United States, and 9,000 new megawatts of natural gas, and only 1,500 new megawatts of coal. So the revolution's on, okay? It's just how quickly now we're going to accelerate it. As Dr. Burns said, it's, 2 to 5 years, if we're optimistic and it continues to move at this pace, but in 10 years, it's a done deal. So that's a different world. And while I love the Carter focus on these issues, that was 30 years ago. And we did miss a huge opportunity. We should have already completed the revolution by now.